Animation techniques, keyframing objects and effects in Muvizu. To use keyframing in Muvizu, you'll need the paid version of Muvizu plus the keyframing expansion pack. Keyframing is defined as changing an object's properties over time in your video. Keyframing is useful for changing the properties of objects as part of your video. Keyframing techniques are used to move cameras, change the image on a backdrop, trigger an explosion or make an object invisible on cue. In this video, I will explain how I accomplished object transformations that were needed for my video storytelling. The examples include changing images on a backdrop, making coffee cups disappear, triggering explosions and turning on a television. I will also present objects that are variables, such as illumination, that are set by way of a slider control.
In the disappearing cup scene, I'm attempting to have the character Martha appear to pick up the cups when she stands and turn and carry them over to the sink. This is accomplished by having Martha basically waving her hands in front of the cups, and as she waves in front of a cup, it disappears. And the properties that we're targeting are the visibility property on the cups. And you can see as Martha's hand passes through them, the cups move to invisible. It shows up here on the scene as a gray cup, but in the camera scene it won't show up. This scene involves a camera on the right that is keyframed to move forward towards the speaker, and then the projected screen in the back that will change. The image will change over time. Now these are the variables you have to choose from on that wide screen property. When you move to direct, you can see that when you drop a keyframe on illumination, you can use the slider control to change the illumination value that you want to have set for that point in the video. Any value on the slider can be set to occur when that keyframe is hit during the video playback. Now we're not using illuminate for this particular scene. We want the image property. The image property will be set to a current value for starting, a starting value or an initial value I should say, and then you'll change the current value as you want the image to change. When you drop a keyframe, you'll drop it with the selection of a new image to show. You can also show solid colors in the background instead of an image. So the timeline is fairly complicated because there's some characters in the audience that will be doing some minor movements, and there's camera cuts and so forth. The ones we're interested in are the camera movement, camera 3 movement, and the widescreen image, which is the screen behind the speaker. I'm trying to move it up, moving the playhead up to see when the camera moves into view. There it is. The camera is moving forward up towards the speaker, and that's according to how it's keyframed.
Nothing's bothering me, dear.
Also, you'll notice that the image changed as the camera moved forward. Nuclear launch. Okay, a nuclear launch is a confabulated scene. The keyframed image will be on the monitor that the character is looking at. It also involves several sites of explosions that will be in camera view that will be shown on the monitor. Like I said, it's a bit confabulated. It involves having two scenes that I switch between, and each scene is in turn shown on the monitor to create the actual scenario. And let's go take a look at that, because it's going to be difficult to understand what I'm talking about otherwise. Those are the two scenes. Let's go to the one on the right. So in front of the backdrop is some explosions, and you set the properties on the explosions, and there's a lot to choose from. First, you have it keyframed, and then you can select from a lot of different possibilities for the values you want to change. We're looking for simply a trigger of an explosion. We've already set the size of the explosion. And under direct, if you want to see it explode, you can look under direct. Yeah, let's do that. And hit the trigger. Not that one, down below. That's the one. Do it again. Okay. Over to the left is the same thing, keyed for different timing. And then we have our character that will have a couple of words to say with a very large explosion in front of her. We switch to this scene on that monitor, and I'll play it back to show you how the actual scene works. But just know that it's two scenes that are playing into a monitor that's keyframed to switch between the scenes. Let's go back to and play the scene. Alright, here we are. Let's look at the timeline for this. And run it.
Squadron en route.
Explosion on the left.
It's a trap!
It's on the left.
Nuclear launch detected.
Switch to the speaker and another scene with the nuclear launch. Okay. And then here you can see all. Okay, the item. Here's where the keyframes are set. You're not going to see the trigger there. You're not going to have. It's not going to trigger it. But you can see where the image on the monitor changes scenes past that keyframe at about 11 seconds. And that is the nuclear launch scene.
The set we are using today is the Agent Snuff set by John Bez. It's from the first few scenes of Agent Snuff Episode 1. This is an example of the large variety of free user-generated content available at Muvizu in addition to a selection of paid content.